Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Enemy here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 14. And even before I get into the review, I may as well, I need to make this disclaimer that yes, I am aware of, the bullshit that pretty much, Kohei Horikoshi, the author of My Hero Academia, is going through on social media, and actually I have every intention of making a video on that because let's just say I have a few I have a few words myself in order to get out there, but I'm gonna say that for pretty much it's pretty much own. I'm gonna make it it's pretty much own thing. I'm gonna make my own video on that. So yeah, I will be addressing it just in its own video. But anyway, having said that, let's get into the review of this episode. And so right off the bat, we pretty much got a new opening, guys, and you know what? I really dig it because it's one of those openings where the visuals and the music carry a very the opening and the opening and end the opening is very simplistic, but it's simplistic for pretty much all the right reasons because it's 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 one of those things where the opening where the visuals and the music of the opening carry a simple message, and in this case, it's from the passing of the guard or the passing of the torch. Like the story of the opening is that All Might's era is over, and now it's up to the younger generation to take over. And I'm not gonna lie, there are definitely some there are definitely some character spoilers for sure. Like there are a lot of characters that were introduced in that opening that are going to be a part of the back half of this arc, but that are going to be part of the back half of this arc, and yeah, it is pretty, it's pretty, but trust me, all these characters are going to be are going to be interesting for sure. Let me tell you that much. But and actually with these character introductions in the opening, we're actually going to get introduced to another aspect of the show, which is its world building and how UA isn't of course necessarily pretty much the only hero school. But yeah. Anyway, that aside, done talking about the opening. So to start off, the episode pretty much quickly gets into the nitty gritty of it, with Class 1A working on developing their own special techniques, and the more that was explained about it, and the more that was and the more it was and the more we got into the episode of the class working on their techniques, the more I realized the certain hidden irony behind this whole concept, on this whole concept of them training to develop these special moves, which is that in most cases of shonen, the special move or the special technique is an over-the-top, insane, practically world-shattering technique or power-up. But in the case of this episode, it's basically being shown as another means to help Class 1A control their quirks. I mean, granted, these techniques are going to be powerful, but Aizawa and Ectoplasm said it themselves. Each one is going to be unique based on the student's quirk. And while it's going to be needed to perform the duties of a hero, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be combat oriented. Each technique is going to be unique, and it's going to be used. It's going to have different uses. But in terms of using it in combat, that pretty much all depends on the knowledge of their quirk and the experience and the experience that the student themselves have accumulated in combat training. Not necessarily. So it's one of those things where the technique itself isn't going to define their how they pretty much do in combat. It's really just a helper, or it's really just a means to it's a means to give them an extra boost, so to speak. But it's in the case of those whose techniques aren't going to be combat oriented, they definitely need to find a way in order to incorporate their knowledge and their experience into their technique. And I'm not gonna lie. In term after that, we after that, we also pretty much get a scene of All Might arriving and kind of teaching the students, which and kind of giving the students advice. Which I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of like that. I do kind of like that scene for just how simple it is of seeing All Might act like a teacher, even if he's not a even if he's not like in his buff can't be in his buff form anymore. It's really nice to see him just act like just act like a regular teacher who's not who doesn't have superpowers anymore. It's kind of refreshing in a way. Although it was kind of comedically it. I'm not gonna lie, the little comedic touch of seeing the book of being a teacher for dummies or whatnot in his back pocket, that was kind of funny too, and yeah. Oh, and after that, we get one of the more famous scenes from the manga animated in this episode: Hatsume mounting Izuku. Yes, anime onlys. I really wish that I wasn't joking with you, but that scene is not filler. It's not like an anime only scene or anything. That is a legitimate scene from the manga. Hatsume unintentionally mounting Izuku, which, yeah, it's just as funny animated as in the manga. And actually, I dare say it's funnier here because of dare say it's funny here because of the voice acting along with Izuku and Uraraka's epic reactions. Like seriously, those reactions were honestly that's one of the best parts of the episode. Just seeing. Like, yeah, I definitely can't duplicate it, but Izuku's face, especially, that was like an epic face. That was like the most amazing epic face reaction, like, ever. Like, yeah, seriously, those reactions were so hilarious and how over the top and like literally animated they were. Like in both in multiple levels, the level of animation on those scenes were freaking amazing, and you can really tell that the animators were just having tons of fun doing it. Actually, they probably had more fun with the latter. In fact, just in that whole sequence of just in that whole comedic sequence of Hatsume pretty much testing out her just every scene with Hatsume, you can pretty much tell that the animators were just having a blast. We're just having a blast in animating like Hatsume's interactions with Ida Ochiko and Izuku, especially in the scenes where Hatsume was using Izuku and Ida as guinea pigs. Like that shit was freaking epic. And anyway, jokes aside, because we need to talk about something important, of course, which is the scene of Izuku developing his shoot style. And Izuku goes to Hatsume in order to get a costume upgrade to make it easier for him to develop his special move. And one thing I like about this episode is that even though on the surface Hatsume is a very jokey character, the show still knew to emphasize her importance to the story. And in the end, the episode did good at developing both Hatsume and Izuku together because Hatsume actually helped Izuku in developing his new technique, shoot style, and it comes full circle when we do see Izuku pretty much using shoot style in order to save All Might. And I just love how the anime showed Izuku thinking back and remembering everything he's been taught up to this point for him to realize that changing his fighting style is something that is needed in order for him to even begin working on his special move. And while one could argue he should have done this and realized this sooner, I think it still works here because we've gotten so much buildup and the stakes have been raised so high in terms of the damage Izuku has done to his body that it's like, yeah, it still works here because pretty much because at this point Izuku has no choice. His arms are fucking busted to hell. Are practically busted to hell. So he needs to find so now he's forced into a corner and he needs to find an alternative to actually in order to actually fight rather than using his arms, which okay, on one hand I would like to see Izuku act. I don't as weird as it sounds, like, okay, we know Izuku's arms are busted. We know that, but I don't. Part of me almost like as much as I'm loving as much as I'm loving this shoot style and how it's introduced, how Izuku basically just freaking saved All Might. Like that's kind of a bit of an irony there. Um, I definitely don't want Izuku to completely Izuku's arm. I don't want Izuku using his arms to fight completely written out of the picture. Like I know he won't be able to use them as much, but I still want him to kind of use them on occasion, so to speak. And like I said, that scene of Izuku saving All Might, like that is just like that is such an amazing scene. Like, and in a way, a lot of ways, it mirrors like the very beginning, like the very first episode of the series, like season one's episode one. I'm talking here, like it mirrors how in the beginning, All Might was the one who saved Izuku, but now Izuku is the one who saved All Might. It's really kind of an interesting mirror image, so to speak, all and as weird as it is, although I I think this is going to kind of bring on. I think with Izuku saving All Might in this episode, it is going to bring about sort of a dark realization to All Might, to pretty much All Might in the next episode. That yeah, he really can't, he really can't, he really can't do anything anymore. Which is kind of depressing in a way, but it was nice to see the parallels in that scene. Um, Anyway, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.